What's up, y'all? Welcome to your safe space. I'm your host, RJ, and this is the Alive I Guess podcast. If you're new here, welcome. I appreciate you for joining. And if you've been here, welcome back. I appreciate you as always. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Facebook now, if y'all still even use that. But we are on Facebook. You can find us at any of those platforms at Alive I Guess Podcast. For inquiries, email aliveiguesspodcast@gmail.com. And for I Say This With Love submissions, visit tinyurl.com/AIGP advice. Today, we are going to be talking about that gay shit. And y'all probably like, what on earth do you mean by that gay shit? Not like actual gay shit. Like, we're going to be talking about my coming out story and my life as a queer who came out and became a gay adult who turned into a non-binary adult, and what that kind of looks like navigating the world as such a complex being. And hopefully in the process, you can learn something about ways in which you can support anybody that you know that might be potentially wanting to come out or has come out, or anyone that you think would benefit from some of these stories today. But you already know, before we jump into all that, we got to do a moment of gratitude. So if you're listening today, say something out loud that you're grateful for. And if you're watching, drop something below in the comments. Today, I'm grateful for random acts of kindness from strangers. There's so much going on today and so many reasons for us to be skeptical of people and maybe not trustworthy. There's a lot of hatred being shown in the world and just the evils that are out there. But great people still exist. Random moments of kindness still happen and they do still exist. And I recently just experienced something from a stranger, and it wasn't anything crazy, but it just restored my faith in humanity a bit. And I am grateful for it because, as a stranger, you don't really owe anybody anything. And so it's just nice to see people still have some decency for their fellow person. All right, let's get into it because that gay shit be happening. If this is your first time being introduced to me, I am a queer, married, non-binary person. I'm married to a woman who identifies as a woman. I have not always identified as non-binary. This happened kind of in the last 5 years or so. But I have always been attracted to, I hate using the term females, but when I was younger, girls and women, and when I got older, women, to be clear. But I haven't always dated women. I didn't start dating women until I was a sophomore in college. So I think I was 20 when I finally came out and started living my life as my authentic self. However, I have known my little gay heart has been there for all of my life. And my earliest memory of liking anybody was the second grade. I remember I went to a Catholic school, Catholic private school from kindergarten to third grade. Yeah, third grade. And I started my basketball obsession and love when I was 6. So first grade, kindergarten, whatever. I really liked playing basketball and I was pretty good at it. So I was out there playing with the boys. There were these group of girls who would sit off to the side and would cheer whenever a point was made. So whenever I'm out there, I'm hooping, I'm balling, because I'm trying to get the cheers from the girls over there. And I still remember the names of the 2 girls that I liked. I'm not gonna say it out loud, just in case one of y'all watching. But I remember you vividly. I hope you grew up to be wonderful women, people, whoever you are today. But yeah, I remember being attracted to girls, and that didn't go away. It didn't just fade away with time. I suppressed it. My theory was if I never acted on my internal emotions, then I wasn't gay. And that was something that I literally lived by for most of my life until I was 19. But then all that changed. But I knew growing up I was gay. I can't really remember one Halloween where I didn't dress up as some sort of male character before the age of, or after the age of 6. I dressed up as Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson, multiple Halloweens. Like, I look back at old pictures and I was like, oh, sir, you've always been like this. I don't know how much I thought I was trying to hide. And I've had conversations with my mom who used to kind of like ask about it. I mean, I fit the mold for the gay kid. Like, I played basketball. I dressed in boy clothes. I was a big ass kid. Like, not that big kids are all gay, but it was giving. Like, it was giving. But we had conversations about it, and I'm like, did you know? Because how could you not? Just looking back, I knew. Um, and she's like, I just knew that that was you, which I really like love. Like, fortunately, my mother accepts me. My family accepts me, loves me for who I am. Well, most of my family loves and accepts me for who I am. The ones I kick it with, be around, love, still see, love and accept me. Um, and so, like, she would ask periodically throughout the years, and I'd be like, no, I'm not gay. It's like, okay. And that's just kind of what it was. I remember there was one time she asked me, and I got like offended because I'm like, why do you keep asking? Because again, in my head, I'm not acting on it. I'm not gay. So stop with that shit. But obviously, it was showing all over my face and clothes. So I think at the time I was like 12, 13, that confusing preteen phase. And it struck a little harder because I'm like, bro, I'm suppressing it. I'm not gay. Why do you keep asking? I'm obviously not hiding it well enough. And then from there, she kind of left it alone till I came out when I was in college. But fortunately, I was welcomed with open arms once I did come out. One of my little brothers said it best once I did finally come out. He was like, no, this is just kind of you. Like, I don't really see you as any different. Like, it's just you. Like, I went from being one version of myself who wasn't dating women to the version who was dating women, and I didn't really change. Like, nothing about me really changed. And so the fact that the people around me are able to see my core, my heart, and not let who I'm attracted to get in the way of that is very important and very significant and special to me. Unfortunately, that is not the case for a lot of people, especially in the Black community. I can't speak for other communities. I'm not part of it, but I know um, being homosexual and being Black is tough. But not for me, not in my family. I'm very grateful for it. But coming up, I had a lot of opportunity and space and room to just be myself, which wasn't super like masculine or feminine or any way. Like, it was just me. Like, I played basketball. I had all brothers, so I wasn't out here playing with dolls, nor did I really want to. Like, I was just a creative kid, just vibing on my own. I played a lot, like, alone, just because my imagination is so crazy. Like, I could really have fun for hours by myself, doing nothing. I just want to hoop, go to school, play outside. Once my brothers came, play with my brothers. My oldest brother has this thing that he says where he's like, man, what happened to the girl that used to just take her shirt off and go hoop in the backyard? Which sounds crazy to say out loud. But mind you, I was like 7 and I didn't have nothing up top. Okay. So it really looked like a little boy out there. I really used to go out there with my older brother and his best friend, take my shirt off because obviously we finna get busy and we finna go at it for a while, and we would just hoop. And it wasn't weird. My mom didn't think it was weird. Like, it was just normal. Like, I was really just myself. Now, once things started developing, that stopped. But I just had a sports bra on. Like, I've always been me, like, authentically me. Um, And so I did, a pretty good job of hiding it and keeping it contained. And then I got to high school, and that was like a whole new world because I went to a very white middle school, and then my high school was very multicultural, but like black, And I have a friend who I still love very much who essentially saw me in these earlier days of like, you're gay. I don't know if you know, but you are gay. And I'm like, I'm not gay. And she's like, okay, like, I'll be here when you're ready. Like, when you want to come out, like, let me know. And I'm like, that's fine. But I mean, admittedly, we liked each other a little bit. We would kick it with each other all the time, texts. Was gay. Like, she was on it. And we laugh today because now she is with a man with children, and I am the man, so to speak, without children. And I'm like, damn, we really just swapped places, bro. How did this happen? So like, yeah, it's not something that surprises me that I turned into this person today. Which is why when I got to college, college is the time for experimenting. I'm like, let's give it a shot. I tried going about my normal life for the first year and a half of college. And then I was like, well, that's not true. It was like the end of freshman year. And I'm like, huh, what if I try talking to girls? Like, of course, I'm not going to go that far because I'm not gay, but I would be interested in seeing what it's like. Mind you, the people I'm talking to at the time are gay, and they're like, okay, sure, try it. That's what you want. And that didn't wind up happening until after dealing with some situations where I'm like, look, I might as well give this a shot because it can't be worse than what's going on over here. So, sophomore year, into sophomore year, it was almost instant. Like when I made the switch, it was like a whole new world, completely life changing. Like, if if you are in the community, especially my mask presenting women, people out there, you know what I'm saying. It's a lot going on on this side. And I was an athlete and was mass presenting, and I'm tall and I got all these things. It was a lot because I didn't get a lot of attention before. I was very like behind the scenes in my life. But once I made that switch, it was a switch. Things got a little different for me in a great, hectic, chaotic way. Almost immediately, I got a lot of attention. I got a lot of people wanting to talk to me. I got into a relationship fairly quickly. Like, there were a couple of nights where I went out in boy clothes with the intention of trying to engage with women. And on like my third night of doing this is when I met my ex that I wound up being with for, well, being involved with for like a year. And then I was also involved with other people throughout the time, and then went for that for like 2 years. And then, literally, after 2 years after coming out, I met my wife, and I've essentially been married ever since. Like, things got going fast once I made the switch. But even though, it's sophomore year, kind of summer, going into the junior years, I still haven't come out. I still haven't told my mom. I'm still dressing the part when I go home. And I don't remember what I was going through with my ex at the time, but it was a lot. There was always something going on with us. Lord. I go home to visit my mom and my brothers. And when I'm there, something happens with me and my mom. It was very like small. Like, I definitely overreacted. At the time I had long hair. My mom a cosmetologist, the only person at the time who would ever touch my head. She was doing my hair, and I'm talking mid hairdo session, like hair still wet. I'm like, nah, I'm out. Like I just got really triggered and left, like in the middle of it. And she looking at me like, girl, what the hell? But I she doesn't know I'm going through it with my ex at school. I'm dealing with a lot of stuff. And I wound up sending her this text about like I like take time out of my schedule to come see you and I'm dealing with things and this is how you treat me, just a bunch of projecting, right? And I don't remember if she responded or not. I think she kind of left me on red, or like if she responded, it was very like, okay. And I didn't talk to her for a minute. And then I wound up coming back home like a couple weeks later at this point. And we just moved to a house where my room, literally walk in the house, and my room is right there, like right off to the side. So I come home. I think I surprised her too or something. Like I come home, mind you, I'm 20 years old. I have a whole ass girlfriend at school. And I come home. And my mom opens the door and she's like, hey. I'm like, hey. And she's like, let me talk to you. And cuts me off. And we go right to my room. And we sit down. And she's like, is there anything you want to tell me? And I'm like, no, girl, heart racing, because I know what this means. What are you asking me? I can't run from this. I know what's coming. So I'm sitting there trying to play it cool, like, no, I got nothing to tell you. Why do you ask? Um, and she's like, are you attracted to girls? And I'm like, okay, I could say no, but she wouldn't be coming to you if she didn't know already. My mother's a triple Virgo, Earth, Moon, and Rising. Like, ain't too much you could get past her. Like if she comes to you with a question, it's because she knows the answer already. And I could say yes, but I don't know how this is gonna go. So I'm sitting there, which feels like forever, and I'm like, yeah. And she's like, why didn't you tell me? That did it for me. I broke down because I'm waiting on the worst. Like, this has been something I've been holding in for what, 15 years at this point. And it all just came down to this moment. And from there, she just hugs me, tells me she loves me. And we start to talk about childhood and how long I've known. And I explain to her how if I didn't act on it, it didn't count to me. And there was just a lot of acceptance in that moment. There was a release. There was so much that came from that. Like it just was very like healing for me, for younger me, for current me. But then there was still that piece of you have not seen me in my real attire. Like I was dressing like this, like masculine clothing. But when I came home, if I wasn't in like basketball, sweats, shorts, trying to, pass with that, I was dressing up in feminine clothes. Lord. Trying to hide it, which is crazy. Could you imagine me today in some feminine clothes? Blouses and shit, purses and shit. That's crazy, right? Like that don't even look right. Like how much do you think you trying to hide, bro? Cuz I don't know, but we do things when we are afraid of judgment. And so that quickly turned into me showing her how I dress, and I remember she was looking at me one day and she's like, "Oh, I get it." And I said, Get what?" And she's like, "I get why girls like you." And that is still my top compliment of life because thanks, mom. I appreciate you. Something I carry with me to this day. I get why girls like you from your mom off the first time seeing you in boy clothes. And this was 2014, so I'm H&M down, like it ain't nothing crazy, but hey, I know when I get dressed, I'm like, I gotta put that shit on because my mom, I can't let her down from what she said. So Yeah, that's wild though. So ever since 2014, I've finally been living in my authentic self up until I realized that there was more to me. So from 20 to 22, I'm dating, talking to, engaging with women. After my situation with my ex, that kind of ended right at the beginning of senior year. Then I am involved with other people, also playing basketball, nothing really serious. And then I graduate and I go home for the summer. I'm at home for the summer. The area that I'm at home is where I went to high school. So there are a good amount of people excited that I am now out because they apparently were waiting since high school. But I'm like, no, no, that cannot happen, will not happen. And I can't even stay here because oh no. So I go back after the summer to where I went to school and I'm starting my life. I get a job. I am just like, whatever. I don't have time to date. I don't have time to really do nothing. So I'm just working, chilling. And that's how I eventually meet my wife, which I will tell that story of how we met on another episode. That's probably be one for like an exclusive episode, but I'll think about it because that's a good story. If you know, you know. But yeah, so after a couple of months of graduating, I meet my wife, who, mind you, goes to my school. We went to school together. We actually had some classes together and didn't even realize till after we got together. Um, for various reasons, our path never crossed until one day she was like, I'm going for it. And she shot her shot, and here we are. And so we've been together since 2016. And so I haven't dated anyone else, obviously. We've just been developing in our love and being together and going through our relationship turned marriage and so on and so forth. I got sober, been on a mental health journey, been having a lot of different events come up that have kind of taken my attention away from, I guess, like identity things. But in the back of my mind, I'm knowing there's still something. I don't have the language for it. I don't really understand what it is, but I know something still ain't all the way there. One day I'm on Instagram and I see this person who is non binary. And I'm like, what does that mean? That just kind of sparked my interest. I don't know if they still identify as this today, but at the time they were non binary. They were uh, assigned female at birth, is what you call like people who are born girls. Um, and they had just went through the process of having top surgery. So this is all new to me. I'm like, what does that even mean? Why would you get top surgery? What does that mean she's a boy now? Like, I have all these questions and not a lot of education. And so, through reading their story, understanding the things that they were feeling, seeing how they identify, and how just because they date women and used to identify as a woman, but now they're non-binary, it doesn't like gender and sexuality are like mutually exclusive. And it's just like opening my world so much. And I'm realizing a lot of the things that I'm reading is making sense to the things that are in my head. This was 2021 where I'm starting to have these questions about my gender. I'm like, I don't feel like a woman. Like, I don't feel like a man. I know that much, but like, I know I don't feel like a woman. I just feel like a person that's just kind of here. And I have, well, had even more so back then, but like body dysmorphia and body dysphoria. And it was just very difficult to make sense of what I was feeling and what I was seeing and how I was identifying. And so through more research and more just checking in with myself and conversations with my wife about what I'm feeling, trying to understand these things, being confused, being a person who needs to make sense of things so much, I'm trying to find another box to put myself in. And she's like, just let yourself be, just be and see what happens. And that was honestly very freeing. Like, just be. I've never just been anything. Like, I have to be something. I have to be a student. I have to be an athlete. I have to be the perfect child. I have to be this. I can't just be. Like, I don't know how to just be. Um, but I figured out how to just be. And through listening to my internal thoughts and sitting with my feelings and my emotions, I discovered that I don't really fit into a gender. I'm just kind of like a person who can paint their nails, wear girl clothes, put on makeup if I want. I'd never want to, but like if I want to, I can. Who can wear masculine clothes, who can sing all the female parts of the song and kill the spider or don't kill the spider. Like I can just be a person that is very much so like in depth and have multiple layers to me. Like I don't have to be the boy. I don't have to be the girl. I don't have to be a stud. I'm just a person who just is. Like I'm just RJ. And that took a very long time for me to break out of trying to fit into these boxes, these stereotypes, because I thought that's what we had to do. And so 2021, oh, that was the beginning of quite a rough transformative journey just outside of this, but also with that, that's where I began this process of transition. And that's where I changed my name. That's where I changed my pronouns. I got locks. I started my lock journey in 2021. And I decided that I wanted top surgery because I was never ever attached to my chest before, like had no sort of relationship to it. It just felt very foreign. Did not like it at all. And so I began that journey, found a surgeon, found a foundation who would help me along this journey. And then I had to wait like a year. And that was the longest waiting period. So much happened in that year. Oh, it was a lot. But I remember when I got the surgery and I had to be in bandages for like a week after that with the drains in and stuff. So I couldn't see myself. But then there was a moment where we're at the post-op follow-up appointment and the nurse takes off all the bandages and I look at myself in the mirror for the first time. And for the first time, I was like, this makes sense. Like, I am 29 when I have my top surgery, 30, 29 when I had top surgery. And as a 29-year-old looking in the mirror and finally being like, the person that I see is myself in the mirror. Like, my wife was in the room when we took off the bandages and stuff, and the nurse undid it, and then she stepped out. And my wife's like, how do you feel? And I was like, for the first time, like I looked in the mirror, was like, there we go. Like, this makes sense. And I remember she cried because, yeah, that is just crazy. Like, how long it took me to finally be comfortable in my skin. And, as this person today who is almost 32, I am a lot more comfortable in my skin. I just hit 3 years post-op. I've lost a good amount of weight. And I'm just getting more and more comfortable as this person. I'm not worried about showing up as one way because of how I present or not engaging in certain things because the boy. Like, I don't care how anyone thinks of me, what anyone expects of me. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be RJ for the rest of my life. And when I have children, I'm going to raise those children to be whoever they are and love them and accept them for whoever they turn into, because I know what it's like to feel like I can't show up and be myself and be this kid and this person who is afraid to live out loud. And I know how freeing it is to be on the other side of that. And I'll never put anyone in that position. I have a brother who has given me permission to share this, which is the only reason why I'm sharing it. But I have a brother who's gay. Growing up, because I also am a closeted kid, I used to be like, you're gay. Like, when you're gay, when you're ready to come out, let me know. Mind you, that's not okay. There's a 10-year plus age gap between us. So I'm still a kid when I'm saying these things, but I wound up being right. He's gay. He also like understands that when I was saying these things, I was also a kid, but I was like, I apologize for doing that because I should not have been saying that to you, like, regardless if I was a child or not. I should have waited for you to share with us when you were ready. Today, I would never do that. I would never rush somebody to come out. That is insane work. Allow people the space to show up and be comfortable with sharing any sort of information with you or not. Just because a person is gay or potentially gay doesn't mean you have a right to understanding and knowing all their information. Like, gay people are people. And if you don't feel like sharing all your secrets and personal things, don't expect someone who's gay to do the same. Because we're still people. We don't owe you shit. And you shouldn't feel entitled to know anything. And another thing, getting off topic a bit here, but I know, like, sexualness and gayness get conflated. Like, people think like lesbianism is like this thing that's supposed to be like a sexual thing. Or I know in like the community, there's a lot of grooming for like gay men where you'll have a lot older men be with these younger men, teens, and the same thing for women. Like, it happens a lot in the community, and that's unfortunately because sexuality and sex, like especially sexuality in the community, gets conflated to sex. That shit has to stop because it's not one and the same. And just because you're gay don't mean you could be groomed. Like, you could still be groomed. It's not okay. It doesn't mean you have a right to know people's sexual information just because they're gay. And so this is, if this is someone or something that you currently do, I suggest you check yourself because it ain't cool. Because there have been experiences in the past where people have felt entitled to these things about me. I can't imagine somebody asking me this today because it's not going to go over well for you. But yeah, don't do that unless you want to air your shit out. Don't go up asking people their personal information. That is so disrespectful. And I don't understand why it's so normal, but cool it. Oh, another thing I forgot to touch on, getting back into a better space. Random as hell, but someone, a figure person who helped me be okay with my sexuality, who kind of like led me along my journey throughout my life, very random, but was Janet Jackson. I was and still am high key obsessed with Janet Jackson, which is why I'm wearing this shirt. It seems so fitting. I love Janet Jackson. I have seen her so many times in concert. I used to have one would call a shrine in my room. It wasn't a shrine. I just had a bunch of like magazines and shit up on my walls in high school, bro, whatever. This tattoo, Janet Jackson, Poetic Justice. I love Janet Jackson. And she represents the freeness that I have allowed myself to be myself in my life. Probably thinking, why Janet? Janet ain't gay. Beg to differ. personally. Velvet Rope, if you know, you know. But there were a lot of different moments in my life where she kind of came up, and I remember having emotions and feelings about her, and her just being kind of like the thing or the person, the music, the video movie that I turned to when I wanted to ground myself and feel like myself, because she allowed me to do so when I'm engaging in her songs or movies or whatever. And so she is someone who's very significant in my life. I don't know her. Would love to meet you, Janet. If that's something you want to do, I am here. I'll sing you in concert many times. My wife says I can't see you no more because I'm at like 7 now. But yeah, Janet Jackson is very pivotal and important in my coming out story. So I had to touch on that, especially because I'm wearing this shirt, which is the best album that she had, period. So now that I am the 30-plus-year-old non binary married queer person, there are a lot of things that I learned from the past that help me navigate different aspects of life today as a regular person. There's a lot of grieving that I had to do of my old self, forgiving of myself for not allowing myself to be truly authentic and free, understanding how I want to carry out these lessons with the future, with my own children, with my family members and loved ones, and how I can support those around me. It just allows me an opportunity to show up differently and learn from my past so that I can get the most out of life. Because if you're walking around closeted, limited in your expression and how much you are showing the world, you aren't getting a full quality of life. And I knew if I continued to live in that way, I'd probably wind up having a okay life, but I would definitely be at the end of it with a lot of regret that I didn't get to live in my true self. And so I'm very grateful and very happy that I was able to get to a place that allowed me to become this person, which is RJ. When I changed my name from my government name to RJ, I did so because I didn't feel like that person anymore. That person was very afraid of being themselves and was wondering what people thought of them, was afraid to show up in the public and be judged and all these things. Thing is, people gonna judge you regardless, whether I hid under feminine clothes or didn't share that I was married to a woman, no matter what I did. So I said, I'm going to be me and be judged regardless, but at least it'll be judged accurately. So if people want to judge, they are free to judge. The thing is, people are going to judge you regardless. And most of the time, those judgments will be internal. People ain't trying to bust a grape in a food fight. For real. Like, people aren't really confrontational. People aren't really going to say that unless it's online. And if it's online, fuck it. Like, that don't matter. You could say what you want online, honestly, but people aren't really like presenting you with hatred and all that bullshit. So let people think what they want, but be true to yourself, because living with that feeling of feeling like you're hiding, feeling like you won't be accepted for being you is something I never want to experience ever again. And I'll admit it, there are times where in the past I was afraid to like post pictures of my chest online because I don't know how people are going to receive the fact that I've had top surgery. But I know there have been times where a lot of things that I've shared online have been empowering to people, and it has set up a space for people to be like, I feel this way too. Thank you for sharing this. This helped me, which is why I'm doing this podcast. And so I just have to move past those fears. And I'm like, you gon' take me as I am. That's recently transitioned over into like taking my shirt off when I go like swimming or to the beach or something. Took me a while to get to that point. But if you could look at people who have no shame taking their shirts off, why should I? I have beautiful tattoos that I love. I have a body that I am proud of. Why am I hiding that? And so I had to check that because that is something that still comes up, honestly. But I'm like, nope, we aren't doing that. We aren't hiding ourselves anymore. We aren't running from people's judgments anymore. We are going to live out loud and be ourselves, regardless of anything. And if anyone wants to approach you with it, then we will go from there. But nobody has. So I'm going to continue to show up as myself completely. So now that I've been living as my authentic self, and who knows if that'll change in the future, but right now I can honestly say I'm living in my truest, most authentic self version of myself that I can. And it's been like that from a emotional aspect for 5 years and from a physical aspect for about 3. And now I've got some years under my belt. I can say I feel so much better. I feel emotionally free. I feel like proud of the person that I am because the way that I'm interacting in the world and the feedback and love and things that I'm receiving back is for my true version of myself. And the things that I'm receiving are indicators that I'm a good person, and the person that I am and the person that I show up as for other people is a good person. And that's very validating for the little girl in me who was afraid to show up as themselves because she was afraid of being perceived as being wrong or being like having something wrong with her. So it's very validating being this person. RJ is very protective of little RJ. I call her something else, but for this sake, little RJ. I don't play about her. She means the world to me. She's very fragile. She's very afraid, and I am her protector. I am going to validate all her insecurities. I make sure that she has a voice. And when she feels afraid, she feels protected now. And I reaffirm her that she's safe to be herself and that she can show up and be loved. And she is good enough and deserving and worthy of love, and that she is loved by those around her. Like, that is some important work that I do for myself because we all have those inner children in us that need to hear that. And she, my poor little Pisces baby heart, needs a lot of validation. So I spend a lot of time validating her because she deserves it. And she got me to this point today. If it wasn't for her fears and her being so courageous in who she wanted to be, you wouldn't be looking at RJ today. Because RJ couldn't exist without that drive from little RJ wanting big RJ to be here. I feel so much more at home in my body, especially as I get active and moving, and my body is starting to feel more like a home versus a prison, like it did, like weight and just like other body areas that made me feel uncomfortable in my skin. Those have since been removed and are being removed. I cut my hair, which was another freeing thing. I am just really like aligned with who you see in front of you. Like, I can look at myself in the mirror and see the same things that everyone else sees. And for those of you who might not understand what it's like not to live in that, it's a very amazing thing to see it because I didn't get to experience that as a child. I didn't really know who I was looking at when I looked in the mirror, but I knew I had to deal with the person that I was looking at. So I just tried my best to do what I could to fit in. And I wish I could take it back. I wish I could go back and let that little girl know, like, it's okay to be yourself, but I can't, which is why I'm so serious about the children in my life that I can, my nieces, my nephews, my future children, anybody around me. Like, you are free to be yourself. I have a tattoo on my chest, and it says, "You get to be who you are." And I got that quote from a friend of mine who I met through my wife and I's photography business. They have a son who is trans, and she shared a post about how she shows up for her son and lets him know that every day you get to be who you are. And when I saw that, it was very healing to the small child in me. And I told her, and I showed her in person one day, and I was like, thank you for saying that, because I needed to hear that. So I'm sure your son is grateful and thankful to you. But that's huge. Like, you get to be who you are, whoever that is, whatever that looks like. Unless, you're doing something foul, which we ain't got to go into details. You know what foul is. But otherwise, you get to be who you are, regardless. So embrace that. The only real issue I kind of run into today is misgendering, and people who know my government name, who knew me before RJ, still calling me that name, which blows me more than the misgendering. The misgendering, I don't really care about. The pronouns, oh, let me say this because I've heard it a lot. Everybody has pronouns. You, your daddy, your brother, your grandma, everybody has pronouns. If you want to be called a he or a him or a she when you're referred to, those are pronouns. Everyone's got them. I've heard, I don't have pronouns. And I just feel like these are the children George Bush should have left behind. But he said no children left behind. That these are the repercussions of that. Everybody has pronouns. Yours are what you prefer to be called. So if you're a he or a him, if you're a man and you want to be he, him, cool. If you're a woman, she, her, cool. I am a they, them. What does that mean? That means when you refer to me, it is with they, them pronouns. I've also heard people, and I'm trying not to get irritated because I understand ignorance is a thing, and that's not to say anything, but it's also not people who are in the community, non-binary people, gay people, to educate. Just like if you're Black, it's not your job to educate those who aren't Black on Blackness and their stereotypes and their racism. It's the same shit, but I will do so for the sake of education in this podcast. They, them pronouns means that when you were referring to a person, instead of saying, does she want to come here? It's, do they want to come here? Or if it's like, I haven't heard from her, I haven't heard from them. I hear people say they don't know how to use it. This isn't a gender thing. This is a grammar thing, babe. This is English. This is something you needed to graduate high school. This isn't just like something that gay people just came up with. No, this is just being smart. So the way I like to phrase it is, when you refer to people with they, them pronouns, refer to them like they are a set of twins. When you talk about one, you talk about both. Pretend you're talking about two people. So instead of saying like, I wonder where she is, pretend it's two people. I wonder where they are. Maybe I should call her, him? No, maybe I should call them. Same thing. Very simple. Educate yourself. Stop waiting on other people to educate you. And ignorance is not an excuse for being disrespectful. So do your part unless you want to get disrespected back, because it's not our job to teach you. But that is something that I am up against. I am trying my best to correct people. Some things, like me personally, this is not a everyone blanket statement. I'm not the spokesperson for non-binary people. I don't really be tripping off daughter, wife. When I'm talking to my friends, they being like sis or bitch. I don't trip on that. I'm fine with that. It's really just the pronouns. Don't refer to me as a she. I'm not a she. I'm not a her. I'm a them. My niece, who is 7, soon to be 8, understands this concept very well. She didn't. We've been working with this since she was 3, 4. And she didn't get it, but to her best ability, she has grasped the concept, and she calls me TT who, because she knows my pronouns are different. And that's how she conceptualized it in her little brain. Now that she's almost 8, she has a better understanding. But I am TT Who to her. And she knows TT Who don't play about her. And she don't play about TT Who. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the babies could get it, the adults can get it. So ignorance isn't an excuse to be disrespectful. And just know if you actively choose to be disrespectful, be prepared for whatever that comes with from anybody. Because, like I said, we are still people. And some people ain't playing. I'm not going to run up and deck you in your face if you get disrespectful. But just know, for me personally, because that's all I can speak for, if you are disrespectful to me and you call me something I don't want to be called, what you think I'm going to do to you, babe? And although love and light most of the time, we could go there because I've healed through a lot of things and I've turned into this version of myself, but I still got it in me. So please just be respectful to people. Call them what they want because it don't matter. What they eat don't make you shit. You get what I'm saying? So why are you so concerned with it? Just respect people or get disrespected. That's just kind of the approach I've adopted, which is why I don't surround myself with certain people who can't respect my pronouns anymore, who choose to call me a name that I don't want to be called. It's like, oh, I'm not going to do it. Because if my mom and my wife and my siblings and my family, who's been very close to me and who has known me my entire life, can adjust without any issues, there's no excuse for you. Only people who get excused is like older folks, and I'm talking 70 or up. My grandma, the other day, I went to see her, and she called me my name out of habit because she's over 70 years old, and apologized and was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I keep doing it. I don't mean to be disrespectful. And I was like, girl, you're old. It's fine. Me and my grandma got a different relationship. Like, that's really the homie. Like, we are like friends. So we talk to each other like this. She laughed. But, like, even she gets it. Long point short, be respectful to people of their pronouns. That's it. And their wishes. It's very simple because it'll be a quick interaction and then you can go on about your life. But don't be disrespectful to folks. It's getting old. Otherwise, some of the great parts of being me, I don't think I look like a guy in the face, but from afar, I get how I get sirred, broed, boss, man, mistered a lot. Me and my wife, I be telling her, like, I wonder how many, like, who's gonna win today out of the sirs and the ma'ams, because it varies. Most of the time, it's the sirs. But when I get up close, I don't correct people. I just go with it because I don't take no offense to it. But a lot of times they're like, oh, like my bad. Or they'll just adjust because they know I'm not a guy. And that's funny. The funniest thing that has happened is I went to the doctor a couple months ago. And, you know, my medical chart has that I've had top surgery, but my gender isn't changed on paper. Like I'm still legally a female, and that's because I knew what was going to happen in this country. So I go in for this appointment, talking about all the general questions, if I'm pregnant, all these things, and she's like, "Yeah, so the doctor will be in. Oh, and the doctor wants to know if you want to do a breast exam today." I said, "I don't have any." Whew, that poor nurse turned red and we had us a good laugh. She had to turn herself around. She's like, "I'm so sorry." I said, "How could you know? How could you know?" I mean, I'm flat as a board up here, but how could you know? I'm sitting in here in a hoodie. How could you know, babe? It's fine. She was so embarrassed. I thought that was great. Well, yeah, I still enjoy little things like that because, like, I'm not finna be like all up in arms because you asked a genuine question. Like, I get it's natural to ask and assume certain things, but once you're corrected and you proceed to move that way, that's when it's an issue. Like, I'm not going to fault you for making mistakes, but like making an active choice to be disrespectful, then we go about it a different way. But for the most part, I just be chilling. I get sirred all the time. I get ma'amed. It doesn't matter because I live authentically and I correct people where needed and I educate those who need more educating and can't do the education on their own because they're younger or they ask me a genuine question and we're close. But like, otherwise, I'm just living my life authentically, happily married, happily gay, happily post op from top surgery, just loving the person that I am. And I hope if you are somebody who has been questioning their sexuality, their identity, anything about themselves, that when you see this, it inspires you to want to take that step in living authentically. I understand some environments, unfortunately, do not cultivate a space of safety and security. So do whatever you need to do to be safe, but I hope and I pray that you're able to get to a space physically, emotionally, one day where you can be your authentic self and live completely out loud, whatever that looks like. Because I promise there are people who are going to love you, probably even more than they do today, for the version of you that you are refusing to show. And I only know that from experience. So find some community, find some friends. There are people out there who can support you and just be in a space of like minded people who can help you through this journey. That's something that I did, something I still do to this day, and I'm very grateful for it. I wish you well and I wish you luck on your journey, whatever journey that is. You are loved, you are worthy, and you are deserving of being yourself. And if you know somebody who you have an inkling could be someone in the community, support them, love them, don't shun them because of who they love, because of who they're attracted to. That has nothing to do with you. They're just a person loving people. It has nothing to do with you. And just because a person is gay, don't mean they're gay for you, boo. So don't be weird around gay people. This shit is played out. For real. Like, stop the bullshit. Nobody's looking at you. Anyway, I hope this was helpful for some of y'all today. And for others, share it with someone who could use these words or just need this message because niggas be gay. And that's just the reality of it. All right, y'all. You know what time it is. It's time for I Say This With Love. I love the way this person comes in. I've been really liking y'all submissions. Keep it up. Okay, boom. I just finished watching your episode on being the strong friend in the group, and I just want to say thank you. Like, I'm so tired of being the friend everybody calls when they need something, like real life exhausted. And I show up every single time because I feel that's what I'm supposed to do. But when I need something, everybody on mute. I had a whole ass crisis last month, and I reached out to like four different people. One left me on red, two gave me the wow, that's crazy shit, and the other takes hella long to respond. Like I could have been dead by now. I'm not trying to keep score, but damn. It's like I'm everybody's therapist, wing woman, safety plan, and go to. Long story short, thank you for this episode. It made me realize I need to set boundaries with my friends and myself. My bad. I know this is for advice, but I just needed to say that. Keep more episodes like this coming, please, and thank you. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Really nothing to say with love to that. But I hope in your journey of setting boundaries, you are gentle with yourself because it's going to be a lot of pushback when you do. It's an adjustment like anything else. So it might be uncomfortable at first. Just remember what you're doing and don't let anybody manipulate you into feeling guilty for setting boundaries because those boundaries affect them and not having them benefits them. So keep that in mind. But I'm glad it could help. We'll definitely keep up the topics and the episodes. We got a lot more episodes to cover, so be on the lookout for those. But that is all for today's episode. As a reminder, be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and now Facebook at Alive I Guess Podcast. Inquiries, email aliveiguesspodcast@gmail.com. And for I Say This With Love submissions, visit tinyurl.com/AIGP advice. And if you have not checked out the Patreon by now, there's a ton of vlogs behind the scenes, and a bonus episode is finally up and running. So go ahead and check that out. And if you need a reminder, it's only $7 $7 a month. But all right, y'all, I appreciate you for joining. And as always, I'm RJ. This is the Alive I Guess podcast, and I'll see y'all same time next week. I'm alive.